Welcome to the Four Fires Podcast, where we talk about winning in all four of the essential areas of life.
Welcome back to the Four Fires Podcast. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please go down and leave us a 5-star rating and share this episode with a friend. It really helps us get all of this Four Fires content to more men so that we can accomplish our mission of building an army of four-dimensional men. Thanks so much. Live intentionally, and I hope you enjoy the show. Today, I'm on a walk with my wife, Rachael, and we're doing a walk and talk to talk about the things in our marriage that we're learning or things that maybe we have learned. This is a walk and talk on a Saturday morning, so I'm going to pass it over to Rachael. We've got a list of bullet points and questions that we're going to talk about, and I hope you enjoy. So, Rachael, welcome to the podcast.
Hello. This is so much fun to be here again, and we're enjoying some beautiful scenery currently. So I'm going to be taking us through, I think I have 6 bullet points. So the first thing I want to talk about is, so we've been married 4 years now. Almost 4 years. And this is the age where all the habits start. I hear of a lot of older couples who've been married
For decades.
15, 20, 30 years.
Or more.
And they say, oh, well, what can you do? They've been acting like this for however long. Nothing's going to change now. And they're talking to me about something they're annoyed about in their marriage, but they're saying, oh, but I'm just going to keep it under the rug because we've been married 30 years. It's been going on 30 years. This is where the habits start.
Yes. We are in the time where we are forming and shaping the behaviors that we don't want to have 25 years from now, where we look at our spouse and say, they've just been doing it like that for 25 years. That's just the way they are. So we recognize that we're in the prime state to make sure that we're building and shaping our marriage and our habits and our behaviors into what we want them to be.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be 30 years down the road talking about the same issue over and over. I'd be so annoyed by that.
We've even seen that in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Where we've had some really serious conversations where it's, I have asked you to work on this. This really bothers me. I'm not trying to control you, but I'm just voicing that this bothers me, as opposed to sweeping it under the rug. And then, like we said, 30 years from now, we have this insane resentment towards our spouse because of whatever that behavior is that we never addressed. So we've had some really, I'd say, intense conversations, even in these first 4 years.
I want to take us through,
Okay.
since we're applying this to real life for the listeners, what's been some recent things, even if they're small, that we've been addressing? Because, Lord have mercy, we do not want to be 20 years down the road still talking about me parking in the grass. Not parking in the earth.
Yeah. How about I take the ones that you've voiced and you take the ones that I've voiced?
Okay.
So I'll start. Really the biggest one, I would say, that Rachael has pointed out in our marriage that she noticed something that she wanted to fix or improve was naming the household tasks that are specifically for me and specifically for her, and then the ones that should always be shared. So Rachael and I agreed on, every marriage is a little bit different, so you and your spouse figure out what these roles and tasks look like. It's not prescriptive. But Rachael and I determined that there were household tasks that she would 100% take care of, and then there was household tasks that I would 100% take care of, and then there were some that we'd share. We just sat down and talked about it, and actually we've been talking about it for 4 years, but I feel like just recently we have really determined what tasks are in those 3 buckets.
And this is recent as in the past 2 months.
We started at the beginning of the year, and we actually have gone to marriage counseling, and this was one of the things that we've talked about in marriage counseling. So if you feel like in your marriage that
Hey guys, it's Jeff. Thanks for watching this episode of the Four Fires podcast. If you're interested in becoming more four-dimensional, the best way, hands down, for you to do that is to start a Four Fires small group. Real life change always happens when we build authentic community and we're challenging each other, just like the Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. If you want encouragement, if you want accountability, if you want deeper friendships with some men in your life, a Four Fires small group is your next step. Visit our website to see more information, watch the Session 1 video to see if it really resonates with you and if it's something that you want to lead a group of men through. Fill out the application, and I would love to talk with you and provide you and the men in your group with all of the resources and the tools that you need to be equipped and empowered to start this small group and to become the four-dimensional man that God created you to be. I look forward to hearing from you, and until then, let's get back to the episode.
You might need a third party to help you work through it. Definitely consider that. But the three buckets are Rachel, me, or both of us. And so what it looks like for us is we've agreed that Rachel can handle, or she will handle, all of the deep cleaning and sweeping and mopping.
So like bathroom.
That's right.
Sweep, mop, cleaning our room, tidying up, just all cleaning all of the rooms.
That's right. And then I will handle all of the maintenance stuff on the house and 100% all of the lawn care and everything outside. So it's mostly Rachel handles everything inside, like the deep cleaning type stuff, and then I handle all of the stuff outside. But then the things that we've identified that we need to share are taking out the trash, or really I think the way to sum it up is we share the things that both of us continually make the mess with.
Yeah, there's two things that are going to be messed up and cleaned up every single day. That's your bed
and the kitchen.
And the kitchen.
Yeah.
We share that.
We both take the trash
yeah,
out.
It's not a big deal.
We take turns.
Who sees it?
Yeah, so it's really the bedroom and making sure that it's tidied up, and then the dishes and the kitchen.
Hey, speaking
clean.
of, did you see that Instagram reel?
I'm a Survivor with
yeah.
Reba McEntire.
It was like whenever you take the trash out as a woman, and then it was Reba McEntire. She was like,
singing,
I'm a survivor.
So that, Rachel, I'm going to pass it to you about something that I pointed out, but that's something that Rachel pointed out, that she said, hey, this is something I'd like to figure out because I don't like the way that we don't have clearly defined tasks. Rarely do we hit a target that we can't clearly see. So without stating what you want your marriage to look like, specifically in this household roles, something that bothers you, then it's going to be really hard to know whether you hit it. And then what we found was Rachel and I were operating off of how we felt. So she was like, I don't feel like you help with the kitchen. And I was like, well, I feel like I do. And so we determined actually.
And then we did the checklist.
You can't manage what you don't measure. So maybe this is for you, maybe this isn't for you. Might seem a little petty, but Rachel and I actually have a chart on our wall in the kitchen. And it's just this chart, and it has a day for every month. And then it has all these columns that you can write in.
We don't need to talk about you doing the outside, me doing the inside. This is a checklist for just the 3 things that are messed up and cleaned up every single day.
That's right.
So there's literally 3 things on there. It's dishes, tidy, which is like just general,
the counters,
quick,
and the
tidy.
bed and the bedroom.
Yeah, it makes
last
the bed.
one up makes
We
the
have
bed.
been doing good on that for
Except for
years.
yesterday, I didn't make it because
Yeah,
I slept
okay.
in.
But usually you are on point with that. So we don't really discuss that. It's just whoever wakes up last.
Yeah. What's the third thing on there?
Oh, there's been situations where one of us, we wake up at the same time and we will like jolt out of bed because we're like, ha,
you're in bed last. You have to make the bed.
Yeah. So it's kind of become a joke in some senses, but
Yeah.
it's really helped.
It's actually turned into me making the bed most of the days because you have to be at work a little bit earlier than I do.
Yeah.
And so you go to the gym just a little bit earlier than I do.
Yeah. And then weekends you get up earlier.
Yeah.
Or before me.
Yeah. Well, what's the third thing?
Oh, coffee.
Oh, coffee. That's the other
Coffee.
one. Who does the dishes? Tidy, which is the counters and the bed. But that's just a given. And then the coffee. Literally, we're tracking it because, like I said, both
As of this past month only.
Yeah, we were going off of feelings, and I was frustrated because Rachel felt like I was doing nothing, and I felt like I was doing a pretty good job. So I said, well, the only way to prove what's actually happening is with hard data.
And wasn't to, 'cause you're not supposed to keep score in marriage
No.
at all, but this actually has been so helpful and reduced any question.
The fact remains that you can't manage what you don't measure. So if we looked at it the other day, and you were doing about 60%,
And I am
and I was
more than
doing
happy to do
40%.
that.
So it was good for me because I felt like I was doing better than I
This-
actually was.
I
At
think
60% of the time. So we're writing a J or an R in the slots, and sometimes it's J plus R if we do the dishes together. But it's just a way for us to be able to have hard data about who's doing it, as opposed to arguing and going off of the way we feel. But when we can look at the hard data, it's just been really helpful.
yeah, knowing that
But the goal is
now,
50-50 because we've
Well-
identified those as shared household tasks.
and I'm still okay to do that more, but I'm just glad that you're doing it more now than
Yeah, and I
the
would
past.
say I have to remind myself of this.
Thank you for tuning in to the Four Fires podcast. I want to take just a second to let you know about one of the resources that the Four Fires tribe offers to help you take control of your life, take ownership, and build some authentic community to become more four-dimensional. It's called the 30-Day Ruck. It's a 30-day challenge to live four-dimensionally. You commit to weekly tasks, abstaining from a few things, and having a Zoom call with your facilitator, that's me, and the other men that are going through the ruck with you. It's a great way to encourage each other, meet some new guys that are trying to live four-dimensionally, and really hold ourselves accountable and commit to something and then keep our commitment to ourselves, to becoming a four-dimensional man. Visit our website, fourfires.com, to see more about the 30-Day Ruck and how you can sign up and reserve your spot today. Thanks, and let's get back to the episode.
We're not tracking all of that to keep score. It's not about keeping score. It's measuring health or unhealth.
yeah. And it's really helped.
Yeah, I think it's helped a
Like,
lot.
we don't really talk about it anymore.
Okay,
Actually, because we'll get up after eating, and you're like, oh, I'm about to do the coffee, so I can get a J.
right. And again, it's not keeping score.
So it's more fun.
It's about putting a number because numbers tell us whether we're healthy or unhealthy. What's something that I've pointed out?
Recently, you've pointed out that I have been challenging you, because that's my personality in a way, in times when I just need to love and support you. So, especially with Four Fires, shout out, I don't need to worry. And this is the thing about being a Four Fires wife, is I know good and well that you have men around you that are challenging you and helping you become better. So I don't need to point anything out. And recently there was a situation where I was challenging you, but I thought I was doing it in a way that was like, yes, keep going, you got this. Like encouraging you. That was my heart behind it, was, man, you are so flipping capable of such great things. But that's not what you needed to hear in that moment. You just needed me to love and support you and not challenge you, even though that is my personality. I love seeing people rise to what I know they're capable of.
But what
Get
did I tell
mad.
you?
It made you feel like you weren't doing enough.
Right.
And I was like, when you told me that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is literally the opposite of what I was trying to do. The opposite of what I was communicating in my heart. This was actually this past week, because that is my personality, to challenge. And I love doing it. I'm a counselor. And it really makes me sad if people aren't rising to the great things that I know that they're capable of. And so I challenge people in an encouraging way to keep going. But with my husband, that's not what I need to do. I just need to love, support you. You got a group of guys that are doing that. And so even though my heart behind it was good, it wasn't coming across the way that you needed it to. So this past week, we talked about it, and I apologized. I was like, I'm sorry for challenging you when
It's
you just
not
needed love and
specifically the
support.
challenging. 'Cause this was
You
tricky
still
because
want it.
I don't want, if you're listening to this, I don't want you to say, oh, it's okay to never challenge your spouse, because that's not what we're saying. That's actually, we're talking about this like building our habits now so that 30 years from now, So we're actually telling you to challenge the things that really upset you, but
Yeah.
I recognize that I'd like it to be more love and encouragement and you're so proud of me, as opposed to, I think you could call one more person today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've called 13 people today. You're
And
making
that's
me
out
feel
of
like
my
I'm
love.
Yeah, that's right.
And because I know how capable you are, so I'm like, ooh, call one more person, or ooh, do this. Just riffing on ideas, but that makes you feel like you aren't doing enough as is, and that's not at all how I want to make you feel.
Right.
So I apologize for that. In moments where you just need love and support, you don't need me to say, oh, I know you could do one more thing.
Yeah, and I want to say this real quick. And I think it's important to recognize that I was asking Rachel to give less challenging comments and more love and encouragement because, like she mentioned, I know that I already have literally a dozen or more men in my life that do ask me hard questions and do challenge me. So if you're a man listening to this, if you feel like, yeah, I also don't want my wife to challenge me like that in that way because the way it makes me feel, make sure that you're finding men that will, because you have to have people who are challenging you and asking you the hard questions. I just recognize that I didn't want that person to be my wife all the time.
And that made it okay with me to say, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I did not know that it was coming across that way. I'll cut that out of trying to challenge you in moments when I need to just love you and listen to you, because I know you have an awesome group of men with the 4 fires challenging you. It was so easy for me to say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing that. And knowing that I don't need to do that anyways, because you already have a group of guys that do that for you. So that is very helpful. On that same topic, something that, and this was a few weeks back, but there have been times, because of our personalities, which it is really cool with the 4 fires, you do a DISC assessment, and so you know your personality tendencies. When I share something that I'm struggling with Jeff, I want him to challenge me, and I want him to give solutions. So that's what I try to give, is solutions and the fix-it mentality. I feel like as a counselor, I listen all day, and I hold back because I have to guide the person to their own conclusion. But with you, I'll just shoot you straight. I've realized that I need you to give me solutions, but you need me to listen. And so there's been, well, in times.
This isn't 100% of the time.
There's nuances to everything, but there's times where you genuinely just need me to listen, and I'm offering solutions. And so I have apologized for that.
And again, this whole topic that we're talking about is, if you have something that bothered you, talk about it.
Oh yeah,
with
I'm
your
not letting that
spouse.
go under the rug.
Or me neither. That's why I was
Right.
like, man, you are really making me feel like you're not proud of me, or you're not, like, you don't think I'm doing enough. And
Right.
and so I voiced it, and then your response was almost tears. I think the main point of this one is, if you have something in your marriage that you'd like to improve, don't really think about it as, I need to fix my spouse, but if there's something in your marriage that you want to improve, you have to bring it to light. You have to put it on the table and talk about it with your spouse. And so I really encourage the man and the woman to be open and willing to listen to your spouse before you just lash out in anger of like, well, that's just how I am. Be very willing to have a soft heart and listen and hear from your spouse's perspective. And if needed, go get a third party, go get a good marriage counselor to walk through it. Because if you don't set the habits and the behavior that you want your marriage to have, then you'll be married 30, 40, 50 years, and you'll have resentment because you're like, well, this is just the way they've always been. Any final thought to that, Rachel?
Yeah, I just want to challenge the mentality of they've been this way forever, so they're not going to change. That is my biggest pet peeve. And so that's why we've been riffing on this lately of, oh, dang, we are in this building stage of those habits now.
Yep.
That if we let it slide, then we're going to build resentment and have the same conversation over and over 20 years from now. And if you have been married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, quit letting it slide today. Bring it up today, because you don't want to be 25 more years of the same-ish. So wherever you are, I feel like it's good to just bring it to light. Quit brushing it under the rug, though, because if you would have not brought up that I was making you feel like I wasn't proud of you or some type of way, and then you let that build for another 10 years, then we would probably have a blow up in 15 years. And that would make me so sad that you never brought it up to me in year 4 of marriage. And so that is, wherever you are in marriage, just bring it up. Bring up the hard stuff. Dig it up. It's going to be uncomfortable. You probably are going to need to fight it out, but it's better than letting it keep going for another 15 years.
That's right, and something devastate you in your marriage for years and years and years. So sit down with your spouse, talk about it, have the conversations, and just go do it. That's all I got.
Remember to live intentionally.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Four Fires Podcast.